Boop.
Welcome to Power Fridays Live, the channel that aims to make a difference in the world through transformation, spiritual growth, and for entrepreneurs. Our vision is to empower individuals to live their lives with purpose and to make a positive impact on the world. We believe that power and purpose are the driving forces behind success and fulfillment in both personal and professional life. Through our broadcast, we discuss business strategies and techniques that can help entrepreneurs achieve their goals and take their business to the next level. We believe that through sharing knowledge and experience, we can empower each other to succeed and make a difference in the world. Now here's our host, Janelle Pulley.
Hello, good evening. Welcome. It's so great to have you here with us. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming our special guest to Power Fridays Live. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Nigel Henry. Thank you, Nigel, so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So let's dive right in. You've had quite a remarkable journey, Nigel, filled with challenges and triumphs. Can we share with our listeners a bit about your background and what led you to embark on the path of self discovery and personal transformation?
Okay. Well, I'll start near the beginning. This is not actually the beginning, but it's near enough. I have a career in software engineering. I I practiced in England, and I worked on aircraft or aerospace, and then I moved from aerospace engineering to fintech, applying technology to financial world. And then in 95, I came to America and landed in Silicon Valley. And there I was doing consulting right from 95 all the way to 2000. And in the year 2000, Y2K happened. You guys remember that? It's like the world was going to shut down.
Yes.
And somehow I got hired by a big American firm to fix their Y2K bug, or at least manage the process. And basically, we fixed it. Hold on there. I have an incoming. And yes, sorry. And we fixed it. And they were so impressed by the way that it happened so quickly and so effortlessly that they said, "Oh, wow, Nigel, whatever you're doing, it's magical. We think it's like Six Sigma, and we want to hire you full time as director in the IT department." And I was like, "Wow, I just got here, and I'm already, climbing." And so they began to offer me this job, like literally, like you're in front of me. And as I was being offered the job, I remember the person in front of me just blurring out, like you know how you can blur out in Zoom. The person in
Yes.
front of me just blurred out, and I was in this sort of spiritual, mystical space, and I heard my inner voice talking to me, and it said, "Well done, Nigel. You have fixed the bug in the electronic computer. Now go fix the bug in the human computer." yes, go fix the bug in the human computer. So I'm like, I'm still in this place, right? And then I heard this, Mr. Henry. Hello, Mr. Henry. Huh? Do you want the job? No, no. I have another assignment. And that was the year 2000. And I decided to stop doing IT and go off to find the bug that was interfering with the human computer. And that was in the year 2000. So I began my journey right there. In that 5 months, I found the bug in Oakland, California. And since then, I've been debugging humans, and it has led me on this spiritual journey of discovery of who people really are and who I am, and hence we're here. I hope now a lot happened in between, which I'm sure we'll discover. Yeah.
Yes, well, that's a quite an interesting story about how you got started coming over here to America and saying goodbye to corporate America, which led you into entrepreneurship.
Yes, actually, I was in entrepreneurship when I was fixing the Y2K bug, but
Okay.
I wasn't focused on helping people. I was, doing IT consulting, just fixing machines for companies. Um, and, I was getting paid really well, but I wanted to help people. So I set up my own coaching and consulting company. I didn't know what coaching was back then, but I was like, I need something that doesn't sound like consulting, right?
Yes, yes.
So I
They say
literally was,
some
yeah,
people say consulting. When you say you're consulting, it's like you're unemployed.
oh, no, no, it's a big deal in
It's a
IT.
big difference.
In IT, consulting is, that's what they want because they can't really afford the full expertise of an IT. So they'll just bring them in for a short while as a consultant and
Yes,
then get the wisdom and get them out. So that's what I was doing before I even got into personal development. I just wanted to switch my focus from technology to people. And so it began a journey, and I started helping people using my technology skills. I just applied it to the human mind. And what I found is as I was debugging humans, people are like, wow, are you a coach? Like, what is that? Right? Isn't that like the football coach? No, I mean, this is coaching, Nigel. I'm like, coaching? What is that? It's where you help people. I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I just carried on studying the human mind and debugging. And as I'm debugging, I see people transforming in front of my eyes. And at the time, I didn't realize that was called transformation. I just called it activation because in technology, if you debug the software, it suddenly comes to life and it's called activation. In fact, I remember back in the days when we were working with Microsoft DOS. I don't know if your audience is old enough for that, but you had to install all these disks into the computer,
yes.
and then you'd finish and you press the power and nothing would happen. And you're like, hello, how on, nothing. And so you call help desk, hello, excuse me, um, I've installed all the software and nothing's happened. It goes, did you put in the activation code? What's that?
Ah,
Look on the
yes.
side of the box and you'll see these 16-digit number, and you got to type it into that field right there and then press Control Alt Delete. And you do that, and then bring, the thing comes to life.
Yes.
Literally, I was doing that with people. We thought
Wow.
that, and suddenly they'd come to life instantly. And I'm like, okay, that's activation. So I coined the term activation, and I didn't know there was a term called transformation, but I knew about inspiration and I knew about motivation because Les Brown was champion at the time. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm doing activation. So I call myself an activation coach. But later on, I realized it's another level of coaching. Coaching is about transformation, and activation is a whole like instant wake up kind of thing. I hope that makes sense.
It does, and that's fascinating and very incredible to hear how your intuition has played a central role in guiding you towards your purpose of
Yes,
activation. Now, you mentioned the concept of the mental viruses, debugging. Can you
right.
elaborate on what these are and how they've helped you and others unlock peak performance?
Yes. I would like to draw on the board, right?
Yes.
Could I? I like to illustrate. So this is what I found out is that everyone is, uh, has everything starts in the heart with as an intention, right? We all have intentions. T-N-T-I-O-N.
Yes.
And, my intention is to have a house and a car. In fact, that's what I used to say to these guys I met. I found people, some homeless brothers, and I said, "What's your intention, bro?" And they're like, "Yeah, man, I'd like to have a house and a car." And they'd say, "But I have issues and problems that's preventing me from having it." So we go, well, having good intentions is one thing, but making them real is a whole nother story. So real means it showed up in the world in real time, right? And we know something is real if it has time location. What time did it happen? And if it has quantity, like we can count it. And if it's worth something, right? And if it touches people. So people have intentions, but they haven't made it real yet. Do you have a car, Brother Man? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a car. Okay, well, where is it? When? See, when
Yes.
is it? And is it like what version is it? How much did it cost? And who did you buy it from? You feel me? So
Yes.
the reality happens in, we call this in 3D. It has to be here. But over here in the heart, we call it 5D. Oops. Um, 5D. And we also call it the spiritual realm, right? We have good intentions and it's the spirit in our heart. So my definition of performance is the speed at which my intentions become real. How quickly does this move from my heart to 3D? And so what I discovered is that all the intentions that happen in the world occur because of a mind. This very thing that controls the speed is the mind, right? I'm just going to draw it as a pyramid like this, right? And
Okay.
if the mind is blocked, then the intention doesn't get there ever.
And
If
that's
the
when we're
mind,
stuck in thinking. That's when we get stuck in thinking about something.
well, it depends the way that we think. That's what I look at. There's
Okay.
different types of thinking, and I represent it by 4 levels. There's 4 levels of thinking, right? And let me draw a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that.
We can see that clearly.
Yes. So this is the mind right here. And this is where the problem is. So I have an intention in my heart and I want to make it real, but it has to go through my mind in order to get real. And if the mind is cluttered up or I'm using the wrong mindset, then it can either get there quickly or slow down or never get there at all.
Mhm.
So this is what my intuition was telling me. Nigel, there's a bug in the human mind that is preventing the spirit from manifesting in the world. So if it doesn't happen, then we call this poverty over here. And if it happens really quickly, we call it abundance, right? And it's like, how come some people just think a thing and it happens? And some people have been working on it for years and it doesn't happen. Why is it some races have all the money and some races have none? Why is there rich people and poor? That was the assignment. Debug that, Nigel. Okay, boss. So this is what I discovered after 24 years of debugging is that there are words that clutter up the mind, and I call them virus words, right? Um, and depending on which word I speak the most and also which questions I ask will determine which part of my mind is I'm using the most. And if I use the lower mind, which you call the dying mind, I'm going to just put it in this color here, dying mindset, then nothing happens. like it's like you're speaking death.
Right.
Nigel, don't talk to me, bro, because every time you speak, everything around me dies. Like, oh, why? Yeah, no, oh, you know what? I need to walk away from you because your mindset just causes death. I don't know if anyone has ever met someone like that. They speak death on your vision or your intentions. Does this make sense? What I'm
Right.
saying?
In speaking death, I see it as negativity to like slamming you with what you haven't. Oh, I have this great idea. Oh no, that's
Oh,
not
it's
going to
not going to
work.
work.
Yeah, so
No.
that's the example. Yes. Oh,
Right.
that's oh, I've done that
Yeah.
before. It didn't work for me.
Right. So that's one mindset. There's four of them. There's another one called the surviving mindset. You've heard of it, surviving. How you doing, bro? Well, you know how it is,
I
man. I'm just surviving. What do you
yes.
mean just surviving? Thank God I'm alive.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't complain.
can't complain. At least I'm alive. God gave me another day and I'm not dead or dying. You see that? I feel privileged that I'm not dying. So I'm so happy and grateful because I survived another day. Thank God I survived. I survived. You know, there's a whole,
There's
this,
a whole song about it.
thank you. This is 80% of the world right here. 80% is in survival. Listen, man, how you doing? I'm surviving. Yeah, I'm good. I'm surviving. I'm good. I'm just normal. By the way, surviving is normal. And you're like, that is great. No, man, I'm surviving, man. I'm happy. I survived. And this
Yeah.
thing is like a virus. It's spreading. It's
I
just getting
woke up
bigger.
this morning.
And I survived and I lived. Thank God I went out and I didn't get killed today. I
Yes.
could have died. That's the prayer. God, I want
Mm,
to thank you that you allowed me to live another day.
yes. That's what some people pray. And
This is 80% of the population of the prayer. Please, God, help me to survive another day. I'm at work, and you know how hard it is. I got to survive. So a lot of people in the corporate world are surviving. Okay, well, what else is there, Nigel? And most people are not aware that there are two other options of living. And the other option is called striving. Uh, yeah, striving. 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 What is that? Have you heard of striving?
striving can be synonymous with thriving.
Yes. So people have, you notice they're close, right? Striving and striving. So
Thrive.
I
Yes.
didn't study the what was in the world. This was revealed to me. There's striving. And striving is the people that we go to for professional advice, like doctors, lawyers, all of these guys are striving. What that means is that they make money by selling their time. Consultants, coaches, like, hey, I charge $500 an hour, right? Whereas survivors, their income does not change over time. It's just fixed. And dying, their income is getting worse over time. But striving, how's business? Oh, we're striving, you know, working
Hmm.
hard on it. And the harder they work is the more money they make or the more impact they have and the more time they put into it. But as they get burnt out at some point, you could get tired of striving. And then God said to me, Nigel, I did not create people to have any of this. Although it's very popular, this is not what I had in mind. Okay, so, I mean, I thought it was all about this. Mm-mm. Well, this is good, right? It's great, but it's not what I had in mind. What did you have in mind, God? Let me tell you, son. This thing. Let me put it in green. Uh, yeah, let me reduce that a bit and put that here. Flourishing. Flourishing. Flourishing.
Flourishing. Yes.
Flourishing. Yes. And this is what Spirit said to me in a voice.
Hmm.
Everything I make flourishes. Look in the forest and tell me what you see. Go to Amazon jungle and see what you just see. It's just flourishing, more abundance than you can manage. In fact, the thing about flourishing, you have to cut it back. You have to trim the garden, otherwise, it'll just flourish.
Yes.
This is what the divine had in mind. And this mindset is our birthright. And everything below this line has to be manufactured. You have to be brainwashed below this line. Literally, this is all programming. No baby comes out the womb with this. Babies come out with the womb here. And what it means is like before we were born, God put everything we need around us. When a baby's born, the mother's ready to give it milk without the baby asking. Have you heard your baby begging for anything?
Well,
Nothing.
right. Not verbal, non-verbal crying, but yes.
They're crying like, "Hey, mom,
Uh,
it's time,"
yes.
and they expect the food to be there, right?
Yes.
So that's how it is on Earth. Everything was provided for us before we got here, before we were even born, and it's called flourishing. And in order to survive, you have to be blind to the abundance around you. And then you have to be programmed to think you don't deserve it. And you have to like earn it. Thank you, God, I've been a good person today. Can you survive me, please? And then if I'm a bad person, God makes me die. Right? That
Right.
is not the case. This is all from brainwashing. This, everything down here is brainwashing. And the strangest thing is, what I found from my little journey is only 1% of the world is operating in this mode. 1%.
That's amazing. And of course, we call them the one percenters. Some people could say that it's 3% of the population. Some people say it's 1% of the population.
Let's
And,
okay.
but
Let's make 1 to 3. Let's use that as a
yes,
better, just to make it feel good. But it's not.
make me
It's
feel,
not.
yes. It's like,
No, not you. But it's just like
yeah, with the
it.
billions of people on the planet, then we know that 1% of them are flourishing.
Let's call it 1 to 3%. Right, 1 to 3%.
Yes.
Right.
Let's be a little generous
That's
tonight.
yeah. So
God.
in other words, for every 10 people that's around you in your community, the maximum that's gonna have any kind of flourishing is gonna be 3. But that's not what we see. For every 100, it's 1, right? It's literally, you can count them on one hand. They're called the billionaires, the 1 percenters. There is a small number, and this number is growing. And this one is shrinking, and this one is expanding, the surviving in
Yes.
America. So I asked God, what's going on here? Did you make this? I'm like, Nigel, I am the Almighty. I have everything. Why would I withhold it from my own people? No, this is your birthright. So, so what's going on? That's why I assigned you, Nigel. Debug this. This is a virus. This is called virus infected mind. The virus infected mind will slow down manifestation, will have low performance, and will put the person in surviving, dying, or striving.
Mm. Well, that
That's
sounds well,
Go
that
ahead.
sounds incredibly powerful, Nigel. But can you share with us any personal experiences or stories of any individuals that have used this method and got their mind right, so to speak?
Now, yes, but it's not one of these. I was surviving, and then all of a sudden, I became wealthy. I found that that's the story I would love to tell you, right? But this is what happened. I started here when I quit my job and went off to Oakland. I found people on the street dying, and I said, "Hey, man, what you do down here?" Because I was kind of operating here, consultant, and I'm like, why can't everyone have what I have? So I went to the homeless and I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" I'm like, what is your intention? I'm like, "Yeah, well, I want a car and a house like everybody else, man." I'm like, "And let's go, let's go." But I don't have any money and I don't know how. I'm like, "What? Okay, I got it." So I said, "I have money and I have know how. Let me help you." So I started helping the homeless, right? And they didn't have any food, so I gave them food. They didn't have any money, so I gave them money. And I thought that's how we're going to help them to. And you know what happened after 12 months of me helping them? Have a guess.
They were still there on the street with their hands out with
Nothing.
yeah. I mean,
Absolutely. I'm
Skid
like,
Row lasted for quite a while in Oakland. I'm familiar. I actually
oh, thank
I've
you.
actually I've been past Skid Row. It's like, "Oh, hey, that's Skid Row." I've been well, I've seen Skid Row. Yes.
Well, I thought I just had to help them because I had means. I was in IT, man. I was making like 10K a week. It was ridiculous. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I'll just help them, man. So I helped them. And after 6 months, they were still there saying the same thing. And I got really frustrated. And I remember I was
I
so
can imagine.
frustrated that I came into my lab. I built a lab in my studio, a bit like this. And I had a computer. And at the time, The Matrix came out. You remember The Matrix, the
Oh,
movie?
yes. One of my favorite movies. Yes.
My people. And
Yes.
so I remember in the scene, um, there's a scene where Morpheus is trying to reach Neo, and he starts typing on his computer screen, right? So
Yes.
anyway, I'm helping these people, and every day I talk to them, it's the same nonsense. "Hey, what do you want? What's your intention?" "I'd like to have a car and a house, but I don't have any money and I don't know how." It's just like every day I heard the same thing. And I came
The
and I was like,
phys
"God, I'm frustrated. I can't take this anymore." And I fell asleep in front of my computer screen like this. And I woke up in a dream in my computer. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm in a dream." I was aware, I think they call open vision or something like that. I was aware that I was in a dream. And in the dream, let me just show it. This is my computer screen, and I see this happening. I don't have money, right? And I don't have, oh, sorry, not have, I don't know how, right?
Mhm.
And so I wake up and like, and this is printing on the screen, and it's looping. It just keeps looping. Like it goes, did it, and then it goes around here, and it just keeps looping. So I'm like, why am I looking at this? I don't have any money. I don't know how. And then I hear my voice, my inner voice saying, "Show him the virus. Show him the virus." I'm like, virus? What virus? And then one of these words start flashing, and I want to see if you can spot which word you think was flashing.
And the duplication there, don't. Was
Yes, this word started flashing on both lines. Showing the virus. I'm like, virus? What virus? And I'd forgotten my assignment, right? Find the bug that's interfering with the human mind. And then the voice said, "Take out the virus, take out the virus." So these two words disappeared, right? So if you read it, Janelle, without the virus, what do you see?
I have money. I know how.
Now let's put it, and I said, put it back in. Put it back in.
I don't have money. I don't know how.
Take it out.
I
This
have
is what was.
money. I have money and I know how.
Now, do you notice there's a difference when you take the virus out and when you put it back in? In fact, for the listeners or the speaker, the observer, if you're watching this, just write this out and do this exercise. I don't have money, and feel the energetics, right, in your body, right? And so I'm going to use Janelle's voice to help you to hear the difference. Yeah. So take out the virus. Take out the virus.
I have money. I know how.
Put the virus in there.
I don't have money. I don't know how.
Do you hear how her energy went down? And so this is what I was in a dream. And then I realized the spirits were showing me the bug that was interfering with the human mind. And so I woke up from the dream, realizing I had just discovered something. I'm like, Eureka! I found the bug. And the bug is this word. And I ran. I wanted to run down the street to tell somebody. And I was like in my lab, and I think the people are going to think I'm crazy. What's he talking about? So I had one friend, and if she's watching, Julia, I remember going to Julia and saying, Julia, I think I found the bug that's interfering with the human mind. And she says, what is it, Nigel? It's the word don't. And she said, well, actually, that's two words. I'm like, is it? She goes, yeah, that's two words. Don't equals, can you see it? Uh,
Yes, it's still visible. Do not.
there it is. It's equal to do plus another word, which is strangely the virus. This word here is actually the word that nobody can see. It's
Oh,
it behaves exactly like corona and HIV. It's around, but you can't see it. But once it gets into you, it starts shutting things down. Back to this. This is a declaration of poverty. This is me speaking poverty. This phrase, I don't know, is called the death phrase. Did you know that? The death phrase. This is
y-
called the death phrase.
well,
It does.
yeah,
Go
I have
ahead.
a lot of
Yeah,
people in my life speaking death because everybody's, I don't know. I don't know. I was like,
there it
oh
is.
my God, know
Yes,
some. You have to know something. But
only
I do
because
want to say I do have money. I do know how when you take away
the virus,
the
right?
virus.
So
Yes.
this is the thing. This is this. They are speaking truth, but the truth is infected with a virus. Whenever the truth gets infected with virus, you get a lie. And unfortunately, whenever a lie is repeated, it becomes an affirmation. And
Mm,
whenever I believe, I shall manifest. So I keep saying I don't know. Guess what I'm going to have is pure ignorance in my life and death. And the
mm.
ones that say I do know, and if I know, then it will come to mind. You see what I'm saying? I know that I know, therefore it's come to mind.
Yes.
And I was like, so that's what I found. I was like, hallelujah, mission accomplished. This is back in 2000 and something, right? So I
Yes.
ran onto the streets back to my friends who
On
were
Skid Row. You went back to
right
Skid Row.
here. And I was like, okay, guys, I think, and I'm like, yeah, I'm so confident now. And I said, by the way, what is your intention? And I done told you, bro. And this time they're frustrated because, like, every time I come, it's like I'm from a brother from another planet or something. It's like, where is this brother from? Definitely speaks with a foreign accent, but he doesn't seem to get what we're saying. Listen, I told you, I don't have any money and I don't know how. I'm like, yay! I started celebrating. I said, you got a virus that makes you talk funny. And they're like, what? What you talking about? I said, you got a virus that makes you talk funny. I'm like, dude, this guy is definitely out there. So I said, no. Say that again. I don't have any money. So I made them write it. Let me bring this up. I made them write their statement, write that out. And they wrote it out. I don't have any money. I don't know how. I didn't highlight this. I said, which one of those words is the virus? And every one of these brothers pointed out the virus to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, mission accomplished. These people can move from skid row to flourishing right away because you got to speak affirmative, the intention you have. And so I was like, so say it out loud. And he goes, I don't have any money. No, he said, I have money. And I said, great. And then he goes, no, I don't.
Right away. Yes. No, I
Put it
don't.
right. He
Yes.
inserted it back in there with emotions. And that's how you really manifest. You got to say it with passion. And I saw how much energy went to install this back in there to keep the reality going. So I'd
Mm.
love to tell
Yes.
you, I went to the homeless and I showed them the virus and they took it out and they're all rich now. No, this
Not at
thing
all.
is addictive. I'm trying to take it out and they're trying to keep it in there.
They were in a cesspool. Yes.
But there's an addiction. This thing is addictive. And
Mm-hmm.
furthermore, they turn to each other and go, yeah, no, man, we don't have no money. And this fool is trying to tell us, it's like this new age stuff that you have money. No, you have to speak a thing before it appears. And if you speak this thing, it will definitely appear. It's called scarcity and dying and surviving. So that was my discovery, is that these people are addicted to suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's contagious. And if you
Yes.
hang around them, you'll get addicted. It spreads. This is why it's such a big number. Just like Corona, man. You might not like a Corona, but you hang out with someone that has it and see how quickly it spreads to your family. What
Wow.
you feel
Yeah.
me?
I
So
got you 100%. And it's amazing. I mean, it's so incredible. And, so where does the transformation come about when
very
your
good.
work is, are we
Excellent.
moving
So
to that?
yes. Well, the first thing I learned is that I spent several years working in this domain, especially in Oakland. And people are like, Nigel, did you change people's lives? And I'm like, I wish I could say that. A lot of people worked with me for 3 months, 2 months, and they had a progress and then beep. And I was like, so I was so disappointed and ashamed that I actually went into hiding
Hmm.
because I'm like, I just found this thing and I created a list of virus words. And I'm like, people, we could look how many people's lives we could touch. And it was like I was working hard and getting nowhere. And I'm like, okay, but they're like, give me some motivation, guy. I want motivation. I'm like, motivation gets you excited and then it fades off when it's gone. I want to remove the thing that's causing the problem. Little did I know that when I start talking to them, they're going to hang out with somebody who says, man, I don't have any money. And instant that word gets in your mind, it reinfects you. And so the spirits, the Nigel, I had another voice that said, by the way, we did not send you to serve these people. But this is the world. No, I know, but we didn't send you here for that. What? I'm here. I want to help my people. Yeah, I know that's what you want to do, but we didn't send you here to help this people. Well, who am I supposed to serve? So I just moved up a gear to affluent professionals. They love me. Corporate America hired me, right? I literally got hired by the city of Oakland, the city, to help
Mm-hmm.
them. And they're like, yeah, here's some money, help us out. And it was kind of great, because they hire you to come in and speak and you do some work and then you leave. But you don't see what happens to the people because you come in like a consultant, you do work, and you leave. And then I
Right.
had another message. We didn't send you here to help these people. Who am I here to serve? Big question for entrepreneur. Who are you really here to serve? And what I found out from serving these guys, that they don't serve these people. They
Mm-hmm.
serve people that can afford them. Does that make any sense? And so there I was
Yes.
trying to help the poor and becoming poor, right? And my income went way down because of all this work. So I'm like, okay, Nigel. So I went into deep meditation, hibernation for years. And around 2016, I had another epiphany. And this was it. Said, Nigel, 80% of the world is survival. They're normal. And 19% are leaders, teachers, coaches, influencers in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I sent you here to serve change angels. Change angels? What's a change angel? What's a change angel? And the spirit said, no, we said change angel. I'm like, I'm already crazy, but now I'm out here saying change angel. So I went on Wikipedia, Google, and research what is an angel, first of all. And what I got was babies with wings, right? And spiritual and archangels and all these things. And I said, what is a change angel? And they basically said, those clients that resonated with your message. Really? So I sent an email out to everyone. I said, excuse me, are you an angel? And guess what I got back? Yes, 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 yes. And I can count on one hand the number of people where I had a success story. It's like they were already advanced. And when I came, I just did a little tweak, tick, tick, and they're like, oh my God. And their life blew up. One guy, I just met him like for 6 months, and he was already a millionaire. And then he goes, Nigel, your stuff multiplied my wealth. And he took me to Costa Rica and showed me his mansion. He goes, like, you built this. I'm like, me? I didn't do nothing. He goes, no, but that thing you told me, I used it and multiplied it. I
Oh,
said,
wow. Well, we're gonna
yeah,
we're gonna take a quick break right now, and so that we can go into this change angel in the next segment. So let's take a
yeah.
quick break, and we'll be back for the change angel conversation with Nigel Henry, the greatness activator.
Introducing Money Just Flew Out the Window by Janelle Pulley. Get your copy of the book. Money Just Flew Out the Window. It shows you how to manage and build family wealth. Discover how to protect your family and your future. How to build a proper financial foundation. Discover reasons why you have been financially unstable. Why financial freedom is important. How to key into the financial liberty your fellow men who have this knowledge are enjoying. Discover ways to retain the freedom regardless of your income. Support the family without stress. And lots more. Get your copy of Money Just Flew Out the Window now.
Okay, and we're back with Nigel Henry, the greatness activator. Tonight with Power Fighters Live with a powerful message on how we have found change angels in the world, Nigel. People who you're making a difference with.
It
How does that
turned
work?
out, well, they were revealed to me. It was like, like, huh? Just like a lot of people are listening to me, like, what did you say? So I thought I heard change agents. And that I can work with. There are change agents in the world. So I thought, let me go and set up a website and everything called Change Agent Mastery. Because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I went off and set up everything. And about 3 weeks in, I get a cease and desist letter from some lawyer saying you cannot use the word change, agent, or mastery in the same breath. Da, da, da. And that was like, I heard the smack. Like, we did not say change agent. We said change angel. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a problem because you start saying the word angel on the street and people are going to think you're cray cray.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned to be obedient. And
Ah.
because I had the validation from the clients that did respond and made tremendous, and affirmed that they were those. I said, okay, God, I'm going to go ahead, but if it goes wrong, it's your fault. So I found out that these people are rare. And furthermore, I didn't realize that I was one of them.
Mm.
And so I started looking at them, and they have certain attributes. Number one is they're in this world, but not of the world. They're called outliers, right? Outliers. They don't fit into the norm at all. They think different from the world. They
Yes.
can be in poverty and see abundance. They are humanitarian. They love people. There's nothing that gives them more joy than helping humans to be great. Janelle, they will set up a
Yes.
whole business to help people be great, and they have a spiritual calling on their lives where they must do this. And whatever business they do, it must help people to be great.
Yes.
And when I talk to them, they go, I was thinking that, Nigel. You have to think, oh my God. It's like they sucked the words out of my mouth tonight. In fact, that's how I met you, if you recall. They are called the chosen few. Many are called, and
Many.
few are chosen.
Yes.
They are super gifted for some reason. Their mind can do many things at the same time. They
Yes.
don't like anything called a box of any sort. They don't like fitting in one. They don't like creating them. They like abundance. Huh. Does this make
Yes.
any sense so far?
It does, because I was actually told by supervisor at the corporate office. It's like, well, you've got to learn how to play in the corporate sandbox, and I was just like,
Did
I
they
play
say box?
a corporate sandbox. I don't like to be boxed in. I was like, there was a sandbox on the playground, but I never could imagine that there was a box in corporate America. But that was what I found myself in, a sandbox in corporate America.
Thank you. And we cannot fit in that box ever. So when you're a child, that's the difficult child. That child, sit down. No, I want to stand up. In the classroom, the teacher's talking, and this child has their hand up. Nigel, what is it? Don't you hear me talking? Yeah, but I think something else. Can you be quiet? No, I talk a lot. Nigel, be quiet. And sometimes they get punished and they learn to be quiet, but they're not really quiet. They go, oh, yeah, I'm an introvert. Mm-mm. If you look in their mind, that CPU is running hot. They have a
Mm.
lot going on, but they may not say it. But until they say it, nothing changes over here. And of all the gifts that they have, which they do have many: discernment, intuition, sensitivity, of compassion, they're loaded. These are super gifted beings. Their number one gift is speaking. They love talking. Janelle, do you like talk? Oh, we're on the Janelle talk show. Oh my God. And
Power Fight is live. Like
is
and
the voice.
subscribe. Yes.
Thank you. She is here. She is one of them. That's how we met, actually. And so the voice, God, my guiding spirit said, this is your audience, Nigel. I'm like, where do I find them? So I was also told to quit and leave California, or not leave the Bay Area. So I sold everything, car, possession, and I went to Los Angeles. Guess what Los Angeles means? Land of angels. And I went there and I was like, wow, I'm actually in the land of angels. And I'm down there and they even have a building where there's a wing on the building. You can just stand there and you have this big wing and it looks like you're an angel. I'm like, these people are really into the angel thing. But I found it strange. Nobody was doing the work, this work that Janelle is doing, serving people. But they liked it. Was very, so I called back to the band. I'm like, no, this place is weird. And they said, Nigel, where do you think you're at, man? I'm like, Land of Angels. They're like, no, you're in Hollywood. What do you think they do down there? They do the number one profession is pretending to be what you're not. It's called acting.
Yes.
So I ended up leaving Hollywood and just keep it moving. I went to San Diego. I'm like, ooh, wow, I like it here. Found out San Diego is headquarters for most of the personal development industry. All those big gurus, they have a home in San Diego.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
La
know that.
Jolla to be exact. La Jolla.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, wow, I like it here. But then my spirit said, go to Miami. So I ended up in Miami. And there I was told, you will find the angels here. Okay, so I'm obedient. I've learned that you have to obey that inner voice even when it doesn't make any sense. And these people, they do that. And you know what they call them? The crazy ones.
Mm.
The crazy ones. Now, if you go ahead, sorry.
Well, I believe my belief system is that we're the ones that we've been waiting for, and we're Neo. So therefore,
Thank
there
you.
was that opportunity where he met that everything manifested to know that I've got the power.
This is it. Not only do you have the power, you are given the power. It's called your gifts. And another name for gifts is superpowers. So, my audience, if you're listening, you're the gifted ones, but you may be called nerdy, weirdo, oddball, misfit, outcast, black sheep, cornerstone that nobody gets. That's the crazy ones. And then if you now go back to 1984, when Apple was launching with another crazy fool called Steve Jobs, he wrote this out. It says, those who are crazy enough to think they're here to change the world are the ones that do. And
And
then you
the campaign was think differently because I worked for
think,
Apple at the time to know
oh
that.
my God, what a beautiful coincidence.
Yes,
Say
think
more.
differently. That
Think
was the
differently.
campaign. Yes.
And these people already think different. That's why they don't belong in the world. They have what we call the Christ mind. The Christ mind only sees what's possible and what's abundant. It doesn't allow the voice to say anything other than what's possible. So now we get back to this thing here, right? This, the crazy
Flourishing.
have this mind. And when you have this mind, it's contagious. And they have a special assignment on earth. They're called master teachers, Janelle. What is a master teacher? I think I have a list here of all the levels.
Mhm.
I hope yay! Thank God.
Yes.
This is what I'd like the audience to hear about. Janelle, can you read this out loud? And you mentioned performance at the beginning of this, right?
Yes.
Just so happens this is about performance awareness levels. Go ahead for the people.
Yes. So producers are number 7, a master teacher. At number 6, we have the
Well,
leader
it's not numbers, level.
level.
This
Okay.
yeah, so it's levels of
Level.
awareness. Level 7
Level
awareness is
7.
the math. Yeah,
Okay. Level 7 for master teacher. Level 6 for the leader, teacher, influencer, and rulers. Level 5 is the celebrity. Level 4 is the seeker, coaching, student. Level 3 are the normal unconscious victims. Number level 2 are suffering and level 1 are comatose.
there we go. Here it is. This, and if you look at this, you'll see that the level 3 people are consumers. That's when they say the consumer market. They're talking about this, and this is the 80% plus the dying.
Yes.
This, this is the world right here. And then there's the people that kind of study, the professionals, right? This is that strivers they think, but they're always thinking. They're in their head, and they have their PhDs and master's degree, and they're like, you guys don't have a degree, but I do, so I'm better than you. And so you get this hierarchy thing. But up here, the producers, they have work to do, and they're gifted, and they produce in the world. Does this make sense now?
Yes, it does. I like the levels for understanding. Yes.
Yes. So now when I meet a person, what I'm assessing is what level is this person coming from? Where are they coming from? Are they coming from unconsciousness? Are they coming from their ego? Look, I'm a student. I'm a perpetual student. I'm studying on the Tony Robbins. I'm studying on the Les Brown. I'm studying, man. I got me a coach. Or are they like, you know what? I have a job to do. I have to lead to them to the promised land. I have to teach them how to be, in the world, how to get access to find. I gotta write a book. Did you guys watch the commercial? This is the way of the leader, teacher,
Yes.
influencer. I've got to create a show that influences the masses to raise them up to their birthright so that they can be productive in society and produce value. What are you thinking? Help the people to hear what you're thinking, because whatever you're thinking, they're gonna be thinking. Nigel's just a messenger. Crazy. I'm crazy, by the way. Go ahead.
Well, the title of the talk today is Curing Value Constipation. And
Oh,
so, therefore, you've brought that out and said that the people are constipated from lack
because they
thereof because
consume
they're
value.
consumers. Yes. And then there's nothing coming out. Of course, we know we get constipated when we
We eat
don't
a lot.
excrete the waste. Yes.
Yes, and it's not waste. Actually, it's food for the plants.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cycling. So what we produce, the plants consume. We produce carbon dioxide. The plants consume that and give us oxygen. So if we don't keep everything moving and circulating, we're blocking the flow in nature. It's not just in ourselves. And in nature, anytime anything gets constipated, it starts, what's that word? Where it just putrefy and it just gets horrible. It's supposed to flow. If water doesn't flow, it's not fresh. If the
Yes.
blood doesn't flow, it's called blood clotting and the mind starts going crazy, right? So,
Right.
and if electricity isn't flowing, we lose light. We don't have anything. It must flow. The water system must flow. The rain must flow. Everything must keep on flowing and circulating. And value is one of those things that
Mm-hmm.
circulates. But we have been trained to consume value. Some of us are trained to process value. But those of us who are in our right minds produce value, right? So this is why we're talking about value constipation is the real theme. And so now I'm like, well, okay, I get these people are constipated. So the spirit said, don't, you're not here to help them, Nigel. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, that's not my job, but you are constipated. What about these? Yeah, they're kind of constipated. They just circulate, regurgitate what they read and sell it. You know what I'm saying? They're processors, they're intellectual processors. But I'm not supposed to help them either. Well, who are you supposed to help? This group. Who are they? Producers. They write books, they give talks, they influence people. They may be royalty, they may be president, they may be a professor at a university.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own press. You know what I'm saying? They have their own.
Right.
This is
Thought leaders, a Magic Johnson, if you will.
thank you.
Yes.
Help the people. Help
Yes,
them out.
help the people, and of course there are other people, an Oprah Winfrey, everyone that what had she had interviewed, they became a leader influencer. Yes, and she's sought after in that light as well.
There,
And of
there
course,
are
producers, executive producers, the television shows that we watch, what title do the people have? Executive producer. So all of the programming, television shows, and everyone who's supplying the information to the world are producers.
hello. Welcome to Nigel's audience. When these people stop producing, these people suffer. But there's a problem. Sometimes what they're producing is food that keeps the people constipated. In fact, the more that you give them content is the more that they consume. And if you notice now, you go on YouTube and they're just like, produce content, man, and people need to be able to consume your content. So the number of consumers is growing. But the people that are getting rich is not the consumers, but the producers. And I thought we were trying to cure poverty. Remember, I don't have any money. The way you have money is to produce stuff. The way you
Yes,
lose money is to consume stuff.
I agree.
So, question, did God make us to consume or to produce?
Well, when we think back to the garden,
Yes.
planting the seed, if I should go there.
Let's
And
go there.
when you plant a seed, then the seed gets watered. And of course, if you use the fertilizer, then a tree, let's use that for as an example, it grows and it produces fruit.
That's right. Be fruitful and multiply. Produce
Yes,
some fruit. Even having a baby is productive. We're here to produce. We're not here to consume.
yes,
So this was taught, is what I'm telling you. Somebody produced some content that is getting the people to consume out of habit. And while these people are consuming, they're getting poor. And while these people are producing, they're getting rich, the 1%.
yes.
And it includes my people, my change angels. So that's why God's like, Nigel, go to the source. You're trying to cure the symptom. Go to the cause. The cause of this is whatever is being produced here. Oh, so I was like, okay. It took me, I just got the message, like this message in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on the road for 20 years. And
Oh,
this just
wow.
came through. Yeah, it's like I was told that on in 2022, Nigel, you've graduated now. You can now begin your work. Year 2022. What? All this time, what are I doing? Oh yeah, you were just field work. Okay, so who is my audience? These two, the ones that produce. What is it that you got to give them? Show them the virus words that when they put it in their content, if they put it in there, they produce consumers. If they take it out, they produce producers. So God wants us to produce producers. When a tree creates a fruit, the fruit produces another tree. In fact, it doesn't produce another tree, it produces many trees.
Yes,
Have you
because of the
noticed?
seed. Yes, multiplies.
Seeds, it multiplies. So we're supposed, each one product produces 100 product, and each one of those 100, that's the state of flourishing. So somewhere somebody interfered with God's plan, which is to fruitful and
Mm-hmm.
multiply, to fruitful and consumerfly, whatever that is. And the
Yes.
sign that it's gone wrong is constipation. And what is constipated is the value that comes from being productive. So these people are dying because they're reversing. You're not supposed to be here to consume. Nobody came to earth to get anything. We came to earth to give everything. In fact, every one of God's people is gifted. It's a gift to come to earth. It's a privilege to come here and contribute to the flourishing atmosphere. So when did we get this get thing? Ah, somebody consumed the virus of good and evil and fooled the people, and it's been spreading and making hell on earth ever since. Hell comes from consumption. Yes.
And and the Lord's Prayer says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
And so we're here to create heaven on earth. That is the will of God for us, his servants, to create, produce heaven on earth, which is abundance. There's so much abundance in heaven. God, there is no word called need, want, or lack. What kind of, you must be out of your mind. Oh, you are. This is where we started. The mind has been corrupted. So let me go back to this thing now. So we're coming full circle,
Okay.
and I have a little framework that captures it all.
Okay. So
Every
yes, when we want
yeah,
to like wrap up and see if there's any final words of wisdom here on this journey of self-discovery.
yes. In summary, all people were incarnated in life. They were given a body, which is a mind, the body, and emotion, to channel value into the world. Through our hearts, we are connected to the divine source, God, whatever you call it. That source is always speaking to our hearts. And the beings on earth that hear it loud and clear, they're called change angels. Like, oh, a voice is talking to me. Yes, it's it. Where is it talking? In your head or in your heart? In my heart, I can hear it. And it says, do this, give the people this. And so the change angel who I speak to, they can hear God talking 24/7, especially at 4 in the morning. They're up. Like, what you say? Write this down. And they have to keep their mind in the right state. And their mind channels the value that God is putting through them and gives it to people. And when the people receive the value, they give money back, right? And as long as you're giving value, you will have money coming into your account. That's prosperity. The law of
Mhm.
prosperity. Give and thou shalt receive. Does this make sense?
Yes. There is a law, yes, of
Yes.
prosperity. That is the
Now
law.
if if my mind becomes constipated and I start operating the lower mind, the value stops coming out of my mouth. And I say, I don't know, I don't have any money. And I start speaking death and it doesn't manifest in the world anymore. So I say the people have value constipation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it's and the more they and because now they don't see any value, they speak against themselves. They start declaring that I don't have any value, I don't have any money. They speak a thing based on what they're seeing in the world instead of they speaking what they intend to see. And it turns out the virus words make them speak lies. And so the work that I'm doing right now, and I think I gave you that list, um, cure value cure value conversation, CBC, greatnessactivation.com/CBC, right? That thing is so that we can reverse or cure the blockages that's in the mind. Yeah, CBC. And it allows the value that God has in your heart to come through your mind, through your mouth, and into the world. And the emotions behave themselves when value is flowing. So for change angels, especially, there is nothing more joyful. That's what this J is, this emotion, joy, when they're flowing. Have you noticed, when you're flowing and you're teaching and the people are receiving your words, like the joy light comes out.
Yes.
And when your words are not being received, you get frustrated, Nigel. Frustrated. I've been talking to these people for years and nothing's happening. Frustration, Nigel. You brought value constipation, buddy. Right. So, how do you cure value constipation? We have to examine the words coming out of our mouth and edit and shift our mindset upwards. Elevate your mindset. And then once the value is flowing correctly, set up a business that multiplies the value. And when the value is multiplied into the world, the money is also multiplied. The other thing is to know about value is that some people are not ready to receive it. That's what the Spirit was showing me. Nigel, you're talking to the dead. They're not going to hear you, bro. Talk to the living. They
Yes.
can hear you. And the angels can hear you. In fact, they did hear you. And they already took what you said and multiplied it. Start at the top and work your way down. So all those angels, entrepreneurs listening, where you're frustrated, you can't find your customer, go to the very top and speak there first. And then as business picks up, make room for the people lower down in the awareness chain. Great example is Elon Musk. He's like, oh, I have this idea for electric cars. And so he built his first one, it's called the Roadster, the Tesla Roadster. That thing costs $180,000. He goes, yeah, yeah, that's our car. Like, yeah, dude, what person in their right mind is going to buy a Roadster for 180,000, right? When a Rolls Royce costs like 300,000, and you're just guess what? The wealthy people that do collector's car, they wanted to have the first one, and there was a line to buy those things. And because he started at the top, where they got the value of innovative ideas, his business got financed. And then he goes, okay, we have sold enough high-end Teslas, the ridiculous one and the high-end one. Let's build a factory to sell it to the masses now that we have enough money. So that was a major lesson I learned. Start at the top. Don't work your way from the bottom up. That's a big mistake that angels make, entrepreneurs make. Go for the top, get a big contract, and then use that money to serve more people and scale. But you just need one big contract to get you happy and comfortable. Okay. So anyway, all of this stuff, we go deeper, both on the business side and on the personal side, business, personal, in the Core Value Constipation conversations that we have, which when you click on the link, it will make sense. Okay, Janelle.
Well, Nigel, you are a wealth of information, a wealth of wisdom. We thank you so much for being with us this evening and providing that. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well as it's there appearing greatnessactivation.com/CVC entry. This is your gift to all of the Power Fridays live community. And we invite you to like and subscribe to our channel on Facebook and or YouTube, and listen to the replay of this message from Nigel Henry. It's been an amazing conversation, and look at all of the different levels of your mind, and as Reverend I got, it all starts in the mind and then speaking life. When God made the world, he spoke it into existence, right? So our language and how we speak makes a difference. So I would like to uh, encourage everyone to listening to trust in your own inner wisdom and intuition, because that's what led Nigel to this success that he's had in unlocking the virus in our minds. So remember, the journey of self discovery is a lifelong process. It's only been 20 something years for you, Nigel. And every step we takes brings us closer to realizing our fullest potential. I thank you so much, Nigel, for sharing your wisdom and insights with us tonight. And it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, my people. See you guys at the CBC. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, please do sign up. It's free. And please subscribe for more inspiring conversations and transformative insights. And as we all say here, and of course, greatness is in it, be, do, and have the greatness that you desire, because the greatness is in you. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Power Fridays Live. And we'll see you next Friday night for another amazing conversation with another entrepreneur of the evening. Thank you. Any final words, Nigel, as we close out?
Uh, and God made us in God's own image, which was great.
Thank you
Be
so
great.
much. Be great. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.